Hey guys, this is Greg coming to you with another, I guess I could say, set of bonsais here. You're looking at saplings of seeds that I pulled from clementines. So this is kind of a grand experiment just to kind of see what we got here. The guy on the right shot up about a month ago. Not even that. A couple weeks ago. We're at the end of July, so I would say probably by the beginning of July, this guy was popping up out of the ground. You can kind of see some similarities here in the leaf structure with a lemon tree, like that I've shown you on my channel already. So I'm not sure what these guys are going to look like in a couple years, but this is pretty much in its infancy. A little baby. Let's see if I can, there we go, get in a little bit on there just so you guys can kind of see. First scale, here's my finger. Okay, so it almost comes up to my knuckle. But that is, we're saying clementine. I'm not exactly sure. Clementines are pretty much seedless, but this guy had a seed in it, so I tried him out. My wife really likes them. My son really likes them. So I thought, well, let's put some seeds in and see what we get from there. Clementines are kind of a mixture. They're miniature. So we kind of wanted to see what would grow from it. The guy on the left, this guy right here, who is, let me see if I can zoom in on this guy. This guy is just poking its head out right now, which is awesome. Okay, this is awesome to see. The guy on the left compared to the guy on the right, the guy on the left was actually planted earlier than the guy on the right. The only difference is that this guy here, I did not take the seed pod, the cover off of the seed before I planted it. This guy I did. So that kind of goes to show you how much more work the guy on the left had to do over the guy on the right. So we have about a month difference here in growth. And this guy was planted probably a couple days before this guy. So that kind of gives you an idea. So I'm not sure what these guys are going to look like. They may be totally different. They were packaged together, but they may not be from the same tree. You never know. These guys, I'm going to have to do some research on them a little bit more, but they're crossed between a couple different citrus fruits. So they may not grow into what they are now. They may not be that. So time will tell, and we'll see if they're closer to lemons, closer to limes, closer to an orange. We'll find out. So if you have any questions, concerns, put them down below. Make sure to hit that like button and make sure to subscribe. All right, guys, if you have any questions, put them down there. I'll be there for you. All right, thanks. Take care. See you next time. Hey guys, Greg here, coming to you with another episode of Greg's Bonsai. Today we're going to be showing a little update of our clementine trees, or so we think they are clementines. Like I said before, in my last video, these could be lemon trees, they could be something else, but the seeds came from a clementine. Last video we watched, the guy on the left here was actually just starting to sprout outside of the dirt here. This is about a month later from when I last recorded this, maybe about a month and maybe a week or two since I last recorded this. So this guy has popped up a little bit, and let's see if I can zoom in a little bit here for you so that you can get a little bit better of an idea of what everything looks like. You can see at the top there that things are sprouting, and it looks like bugs are a little hungry, eating a little bit of that leaf there. And the guy on the left here, this leaf is just a little dried out and dying, but that's just the original leaves that pop out. So I'm not too worried about that. So we do have some strong leaves here. Last week I actually had to spray this a little bit. There was a worm or something laying in here, and it might have been part of a spider catching it, but I cleaned that out just to make sure that this would be okay. So it looks like it's coming back and going to be a little stronger. So hopefully the next time I record this thing will be about double in size. Hopefully by next month, we'll find out. And then the bigger guy here, when we last recorded, let me zoom out here a little bit. When we last recorded, I went back and looked. I think we were about here on the height. So we've about doubled our height here for this clementine tree. And here we are in the fall, still growing, still have leaves forming at the top, which is great. You can kind of just see the shiny leaves forming. And again, this guy looks like he's been eaten a little bit, just like the little guy. Haven't seen any bugs actually on this one, so I'm not sure how it's happening or where these critters are. I'm hoping they don't come inside when I start to bring them in. Do have a little bit of dirt underneath on the leaves, and that's just from the rain and the splatter. So I'm not too worried about that. We do have a little bit of leaf dying off here, but again, I'm not too worried. There's enough leaves on here, and once I get it inside for the fall with the grow light, this thing's gonna start shining pretty good. But they do have, if you watch my lemon series, which I do suggest you guys go and see, they have the same kind of leaf break off here. So I've noticed on my lemon trees where some of the leaves actually break off on this big part and the small part stays on, and then later on that guy goes off. This guy is growing pretty straight. I'm gonna let it grow and keep growing. Once it gets probably when it gets maybe another third, so maybe another month or so, if this guy keeps growing at this rate, I'll be putting it in a bigger pot just to give it some room. And then after hopefully a year, we'll start trimming this guy back and seeing if we can grow here and have it shoot off into a truer bonsai form. I really do like these citrus trees. One, I haven't really come out to smell them yet, but they're supposed to have a nice citrusy smell. They do attract the bees and whatnot out here, which is kind of cool, just to kind of see some local wildlife come in and enjoy it. And they kind of dig around and grab the water out of the soil, because this soil does keep the moisture in pretty well for these guys. Let me just double check the bottom. Yeah, everything looks okay. That might be a root there, I'm not sure. We're gonna see if that grows out a little bit more. But yeah, we'll twirl them around just so you guys can get a little bit more of an idea. As you can see on here, leaves are getting bigger as it gets higher up. But nothing too bad here, but you can definitely see the progress from the last video. I may end up making like a month 1 and 2 video together and merging them just so you guys can see the growth. I think over the winter, I may try and do a time-lapse video with some citrus seeds, just so you guys can kind of have that to see what the first month of life is like. And just see, this is kind of nice because these guys were fresh when I started my channel, and you could kind of see what everything is like when it starts from scratch, pretty much. So these are my clementines. Again, we're on month number 2 pretty much of this. This guy was, as I said, just sprouting out. So this is after a month of growth for this guy. This guy came up a little bit earlier. I'd say a couple weeks before that, I think I said in my last video. So this guy might actually be 2 months old. But that's the difference a month makes. And the difference between not taking the shell off the seed, the hard exterior that is inside the fruit, and taking the shell off the seed and doing the germination. So that's it. If you have any questions, please let me know down below. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you want to see anything different, if you have a special fruit at the grocery store that you want to see grow from seed, I can do that. And if you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to keep seeing these guys, make sure to hit the subscribe button and that little bell that goes along with it. Until next time, guys, take care. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, Greg here coming to you with another episode of Greg's Bonsai. And today's episode, we're going to be kind of going back in the vault here. I haven't really checked these guys out in about 5 months, I think back in September, middle of September. These are Clementines, and you might remember this if you go back, and I had this on a playlist. Just go back and check out the last video just so you can kind of see how they've grown. But these are Clementines. I got them from seed. My wife loves clementines, and I found some seeds in there. I said, well, let's see what they turn into. They're still in these really small pots. I think they're starting to get a little constrained. You can see they haven't grown too much, especially this guy on the left, but it looks really good considering. I think it might be time to maybe up pot these guys for the spring. I think that's what I'll be planning on doing, just to give them a little bit more breathing room. The guy on the right definitely growing at a much better pace, although I think, if I recall correctly, this guy, I took the seed and I took the casing off and it grew like this. This guy, I did not take the casing off, I think. I'm going to have to go back, but I think that's what happened. So this guy came out a little later, but even so, this guy is definitely in the lead for growing. And we'll just kind of get in here and get a little more detail and up close in just a second. But before we do that, make sure to hit subscribe, and helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. And just gets my videos out there a little bit more. And if we recall 5 months ago, okay, we're talking 5 months, this guy on the left was pretty much like here, okay? It was not that high. So this guy has definitely grown a lot in the past, in the 5 months. And this guy, I think, has pretty much grown about that much, okay? So not too much in the grand scheme of things, but this guy was already pretty good. The trunk on this guy on the right is actually looking pretty good and pretty sharp. We do have a little bit of leaves that have fallen off here, but we do have some growth trying to pop out on the sides, and we can see some right here that has already done so. So we'll just go to the back of it and we can just see this guy coming up. We got a little bit more new growth here and a bunch of growth at the top trying to make its way out. We got some stuff dying off, but that's just really this thing trying to shoot up and grow. So as it comes up, we have a little bit of death that comes with it. And we have some leaves drying out here. I do need to water these guys. They're dry. So tonight they're going to get a nice bath. And the funny thing about this guy on the right is that we can kind of see as it's been getting taller, the leaves have been getting a little bit bigger, but then all of a sudden this guy just shot out of nowhere. Really nice and shiny, okay? Like the look of that. Pretty strong leaf. But not too much taller than he has. And we've had some nibbles here. I'm not sure if this is from when it's been in the grow tent or if it's been outside. But I think I did have some nibbling, at least mentioned, on my last video. And on this guy, he's got some interesting looking leaves. All right, he's got green, and this has pretty much been the entire time I've seen this grow. It's had this green inside with this like a little bit more off green, yellowish type. But it's not, it hasn't been watering issues because I've been watering it. And I've had some lime in there, or I'm sorry, iron, not lime. Had iron in here just to make sure that it balances out, just the water with the calcium. But this guy has been looking pretty good. A little matte, but shine, you know. Do have a leaf up top that's kind of drying out and whittling away, but we do have some growth showing up on the top there. And this guy actually has some thorns on it. But I've just been kind of eyeing these guys up. It's kind of neat how small they've stayed in these pots. That's by design. I just kind of wanted to see how constrained they would be after year one. So once the spring comes and I start pulling these out, I'll try and get a video to show you what the root system on these guys looks like. Because I'm just doing an up pot. I'm not doing a repot. Although I am tempted to keep these small. What do you guys think? Do you think I should keep them small like this, or try to let them grow a little bit more. Because there are some bonsai out there that do look pretty nice when they're small, but this is just going to take years to keep going and building and whatnot. So again, we'll go down here, we'll look at this. And I've been fertilizing these guys, just kind of making sure that they are fed. And it's kind of nice to see this guy growing out and just showing signs of life. They've just been underneath a grow light. If you go back to I actually made a grow tent video this past week on my channel. If you want to go back and see, it's the lights on the right side. They've just been kind of sitting underneath those. But these are my clementines, okay? So if you have any questions, make sure to put them down in the comment section below. If you think you might think these are something different, because I mean, clementines aren't exactly a natural species. They're a cross mix, I believe, of you know, lemons. So that's where you kind of get this thorny base from. So that's definitely a sign here, but we just don't have that lemon look on the leaves, because this is more of a what we would see on a citrus. So I'm interested to see what this could possibly be, or unless there's some kind of deficiency that I have in this plant, hence causing it to be smaller and whatnot. But let me know down in the comments below if you know what I'm looking for here. So like I said, if you really like this video, make sure to hit that like button. This is a shorter one of my series, but I'll probably end up making a compilation video of this. But if you like what you saw, make sure to hit that like button. Again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, make sure to let me know down below. And if you really do enjoy my video series, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Always love having subscribers chat down below in the comments. I love chatting with everybody, getting to know the people watching. If you have any requests, let me know. But that's everything for now, guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell next to it. You'll get a notification. This is Greg's Bonsai, signing off. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, Greg here, coming to you with another episode of Greg's Bonsai. And today we're going to be showcasing the clementine trees that I've been growing for about a year now. I think the first video I had was in July of last year. That's 2023. We're now sitting in June of 2024, about the halfway mark. But just kind of wanted to showcase, since I haven't really had anything shown on this, I think, since February. So if you want to see what this looked like before, make sure to go back and check out this playlist that I have this video in, and you can kind of see growth as it goes in. And I also kind of do some compilation videos of this from time to time, so that you guys can kind of just see it in one big video. But both of these seeds came from my wife. She had clementines, and we just kind of wanted to see what they would grow into. She said, here, take them, Greg, and let's see what goes on. And I should note, I believe that the left guy here, I put the seed pod in with like the outer casing still on, and this guy on the right, I did not. So I'm not, I mean, you can definitely see that there's more growth on the right guy than the left guy. And that's just been the case since we started this journey on these two plants rather. And you'll also notice, I think I made a comment that I was looking to up pot these guys in the last video, and I did. I kind of went from a smaller pot that they were in into these flatter training pots, and these guys have been outside, I'd say, for the past 2-3 months now that it's been warm enough out here. But let me see if I can just you can kind of see that I've been watering recently, but the roots on these guys are starting to come out. So I'm gonna have to trim those just because we don't want them to be growing out too much. But we got the same thing here on this guy. And just aggressive, just very aggressive going through those holes in the bottom. But Not worried about that. That's great. That's a sign of growth. That means these guys are growing. And as you can see, definitely growing. I think the last time I had a video back in February, we were about here on this guy. You can kind of see that these leaves down here on the bottom are drying out and starting to fall off. You can see it right here. So these guys that I said that look really interesting, these leaves, because you can kind of see here, they had this dark mid thing, dark green, and then the outside was kind of a yellowish. They've now just started to fade out here. I've had them out on my patio, my back patio. They get great amount of sun in the morning and kind of in the afternoon as well. But you can see the top leaves are definitely thriving. We don't see, well, we kind of do see in a couple of these leaves here the same kind of tinting. All right, but on these upper leaves, not seeing that much. They are a little narrower, which is interesting to see. I've not seen that kind of thing happen yet, but we'll see if these guys get any bigger. Do we see the classic thorns? So we're definitely seeing the citrus thorns on this guy, which is great to see. And I'm just happy this guy is growing a little bit more. I was worried this thing was going to be stunted and wasn't going to grow at all. I've changed into a more free-flowing soil here, just to kind of be opening it up and let the roots grow a little bit more of a bonsai soil mix. And one that is more acidic for these guys as well. And the guy on the right, you can definitely see grew. Mainly this whole offshoot on the left has come out and is pretty much dominating the tree now. We even have a really big leaf down below here that has come out, and I think a lot of this growth has just been since it's been outside. You can kind of see that the bugs do not go after this at all. I have not had any problem, knock on wood, I have not had any problems with bugs on these guys. And you can see the old big leaf here. This was what was left from the February video. All right, you can kind of see a little bit of growth, but I'm really surprised at how much growth has come out on this side here. Now I'm trying to keep these guys a little smaller. I just want to see what happens with them. But also a lot of this lower leafing has gone away. So we've just kind of seen it start growing up here. And these small pots, I really love these small pots. I got them on Amazon. I can see if I can link them down below if anybody's interested in them. It's like a pack of 5 or 6 of them. Comes with the drip trays, which is great. But yeah, not a whole lot of death has happened to this tree. A couple leaves have fallen off, but this guy has definitely been thriving. It's great that it's getting all this light. And I think out of the two, this guy definitely gets, this guy here gets more light. Just with the way the light goes on my patio. But I have had, and you can kind of see it here, this is a little dry, so I'll be watering it later. Probably tomorrow morning before the sun really starts hitting. But because this one gets a little bit more light, and it's literally, when it's on the patio, it's like this, okay? For some reason, this guy just gets a little bit more light and dries out a little bit more. This guy doesn't, it just stays a little bit wetter, okay? Not a huge deal. But it's great to see them both thriving, both of them getting thorns. I was really worried about that on these smaller ones, but they're starting to develop. This guy I will probably have to trim here eventually just to kind of keep it compacted. But this guy definitely thickening up. All right, we're getting close to a chopstick, and this guy still a little wobbly, but definitely starting to mature. So that's great to see. Eventually I will have to get in and, like I said, trim this down a little bit and get down to a little bit in the branches just to kind of start developing it a little bit more. But like I said, we're only at the first year. The second year is really where I want to start developing, and just these first year or two, just to kind of see how things develop, how it grows, and kind of help shape it, just so that it can get there. But this is my clementine trees. They have definitely grown since February. That's about, what, 4 months? Depending, I can't remember exactly when in February I did these, but it's about 4 months of growth now that it's been outside. Definitely getting that life. I'm gonna do hopefully another one of these next month or in August, just to kind of see what happens to this guy. I'm very interested in, you know, these guys when they drop off, kind of letting them drop the leaves on their own if I can. I don't want to force anything, and just to see how big they get. You know, I think this guy's just about a foot, maybe a little under that, maybe 10 inches currently. This guy's about a half a foot. But let me know if you guys are growing anything like this. Would love to talk to you if you are. If you liked what you saw, make sure to hit that like button. And make sure if you're on the playlist, go back, check these guys out. Ever since they started, I had them in small pots. Like I said, I up-potted them into this just to kind of give them a little bit more life. And as you saw, they are definitely starting to go through the bottom of the pot. And if you really did like it, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the little bell that's next to it, just so you know when a new video comes out. This is Greg. This is my clementines. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Take care. Thanks for watching.